Thank you. Jai Baba. Nothing is real but God. Nothing matters but love for God. God is the only reality. All else that seems real is illusory. God and I are one. Meher Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Thanks to beloved Baba and Jai Baba to all of you. I have been told that today is one of our participants' birthday, Yasmin. But I don't think she's there today. But all the same, we remember her and wish her a very happy birthday and hope she isn't too well, I was told. And I hope and we all pray to Baba to take care of her in every which way. Thank you. Now we are reading Meher Baba Calling. This is the book, and we are on page number 63. Go ahead.
Experience heaven on earth. God, who is all power, all wisdom, all love.
And hope she isn't too well, I was told. And I hope and we all pray to Baba to take care of her in every way. Thank you. Now we are reading Meher Baba Calling. This is the book, and we are on page number 63. Can the host mute Meher Boras, please?
Experience heaven on earth. God, who is all power,
Can you please mute
all love.
Meher Berus? Can you please mute yourself? I think she is watching Facebook alive and the voice is coming in this one. Can the host is Rakesh there? Can the host mute
I'm muting her. Give me a second.
On earth. God, who is all power.
See, I very strongly suggest that if there is a disturbance like this for a period of time, and if the host has the power to delete the person, please do that, because for the sake of one person, there should not be disturbance to all. For future, we'll have to remember that we need to be responsible when we are attending a Baba meeting. That's what I'm trying to convey. All right, go ahead.
God, who is all power, all wisdom, and all love, all mercy and all bliss resides in you all. There also resides in you all the apparently opposite aspects of these infinite qualities like helplessness, ignorance, lust, cruelty, suffering, and so on. He who desires God develops compassion, selflessness, and self-denying renunciation. He who runs after transitory shadow objects of desire cultivates selfishness, greed, and hatred. The former bring peace on earth, the latter bring wars and destruction. Give up low desires and unnecessary cravings, and you will experience heaven on earth. At present, you are soul. You as soul are unconscious of God and God's bliss. Your mind now suffers or is happy according to your impressions. Let go the mind and you are your real self.
This is chapter 63. Experience heaven on earth. Even during Jesus' time, he would say, that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. In other words, my interpretation would be that there is no kingdom of heaven as a separate place or a locale. It is at hand means it is possible for us to experience heaven on earth. And as Baba has said, heaven is only a state of mind. It belongs to the state of mind and it is not a locale or a place. So if one cultivates certain habit patterns, certain tendencies, certain behavioral, structural behavior, then in my understanding, one can qualify to experience heaven on earth. All experiences that we have, the good, the bad, the ugly, are because of the interpretation of the mind. Most interpretation of the mind is based on our past samskaras. So once we have in our control, samskaras are now not in our control because they have already, you can say, we have already sown the seeds. But what is in our control is our perception of what is happening in our life, is how we interpret our life, is what stories we make within ourselves, internal dialogue, internal talk, what stories we make within ourselves of what is happening to us outside. So that there lies the key. And if we are able to cultivate this art of always taking things in a positive light, of interpreting things in a positive light, then it is quite possible that our life can be like heaven on earth. Baba has given these points as to how one should conduct oneself in order to be always at peace, at tranquility, and in a state of joy. So now what does Baba says? God, who is all powerful, all wisdom, and all love, all mercy, and all bliss, resides in you all. We have already seen it before that God is the essence of everyone and everything. He is in everyone and everything, and He is also beyond everyone and everything. So you and I cannot exist if there is no essence or existence of God within each one of us. That's what Baba is trying to say. There also reside in you all the, mark the word, apparently opposite aspects of these infinite qualities. Apparently opposite. There can be no duality when it comes to God. That means I remember once a questioner asking Baba, what is the difference between the infinite mind and the finite mind? And Baba very beautifully explained there is no such thing as finite mind. It is an illusion. Everything is infinite. Anything that is subdivided into duality, into finiteness, into separateness, into whatever, helplessness, whatever, is an illusion. And what creates illusion? Maya is the creator of illusion. We've done all that Maya chapter in quite a great depth. So here Baba says, I repeat, there also reside in you all the apparently opposite aspects of these infinite qualities, like helplessness. God is all powerful, we experience helplessness. Ignorance. God is all knowing, we experience ignorance. Lust. God is all love, we experience lust. Cruelty. God is all mercy, benevolence, kindness, compassion, and we experience cruelty. Suffering. God is all bliss, and we experience suffering, and so on. So, what Baba is trying to say is that in spite of the fact that God resides in each one of us, we are experiencing all the opposite aspects of God because of certain reasons. Now, Baba is giving the reasons, and if we have the necessary courage and the wisdom to apply this knowledge of which Baba is giving us into our practical life, then perhaps we may start experiencing what Baba calls as heaven on earth. Baba says now, he who desires God develops compassion. In other words, the attribute of compassion, understanding the pain and the issues that the other person is going through, and also acting upon that in order to alleviate whatever the other person is going through to the best of our ability. Selflessness. I am repeating. He who desires God develops compassion. Selflessness, that means develop selflessness. That means away as far as possible from a self-centric point of view about everything in life. Selflessness, going away from I, my, me, and mine, thinking more about the others than thinking about ourselves and our near and dear ones. That is selflessness. And self denying renunciation. Now, here, I don't know how to explain that. Renunciation is there. And Baba has very emphatically said that there is no need for us to have external renunciation, going in the jungles, mountains, whatever you want, caves, and all that. Internal renunciation would mean that you apply yourself fully, wholly, completely into whatever you are doing at that point in time, but at the same time, be completely resigned to the results of whatever it is. In other words, you are denying yourself. I would interpret this, there may be several interpretations. Denying renunciation would be, I would again say, to stay in a state of equanimity or equipoise no matter what. That means if only if you have really renounced internally, not externally, then you may be able to achieve that. He who runs after transitory shadow objects of desires. We are all running after short lived, transitory, impermanent, phenomenal, whatever else you can. In other words, it is a very temporary, short lived desire, and we run after that. Baba says, he who runs after transitory shadow objects of desire cultivates selfishness, greed, and hatred. Selfishness, greed is again a type of selfishness. I, my, me, and mine. And hatred when you are not able to achieve the goal of your selfishness, you start hating things, you start hating people. So, in other words, Baba is advocating not to run after shadow objects of desires, which will cultivate all these three aspects: selfishness, greed, and hatred. The former, that means the one who desires God and creates compassion, selflessness, वगैरह, etc., renunciation, etc. The former bring peace on earth, the latter bring wars and destruction. It is not a question of individual. Baba says that wars are nothing but a reflection of individual insufficiencies, individual selfishness, individual hatred, individual greed, and then it all multiplies into a national or continental or whatever wars, and that's what how the wars are created. Brings wars and destruction. Give up low desires and unnecessary cravings, and you will experience heaven on earth. Again and again, again and again, Baba is hinting at this point that we are all ego conscious, separate, limited, finite, self centric, ego consciousness. Once we do the opposite of that, which means compassion, which means selflessness, which means renunciation. Again, I'm saying internal, which means love, which means care and concern for the others. What are we doing? We are not feeding our ego. So gradually, our ego gets false ego. I'm talking because ego is a real thing, Baba has said, and we have done it in the past. Gradually, our self centric ego is starved. It becomes very lean, like how today we are doing all kinds of fads about fasting and all that. So here you are fasting your false ego, as a result of which it becomes lean, as a result of which it does not have that much of power to propel you into selfish acts, and to that extent, we achieve the so called state of heaven on earth. Because all the power of the samskaras are in that self centric ego, and it is impelling us to take a certain course of action which are obviously selfish in nature. But when we are not feeding that ego, then that impulsion does not get transformed into compulsion, and then we do not put those impulsion into action, and gradually over a period of time those impulsions lose their velocity, their power, their whatever firmness on our egocentric consciousness, the grip, yes, the grip, and gradually it becomes fainter and fainter, weaker and weaker, because on one side, the egocentric pressure is discharging all the time its force, and on the other side, we are not recharging that by putting it into action. Like what you do when you use your phone, mobile phone, what do? You need to recharge it every periodically, maybe a day, maybe twice a day, maybe once in 2 days, whatever. But when you recharge, it becomes fat and bold. But if you don't recharge, it dies out. So that is the exact procedure which Baba is expecting us to follow the path of selflessness, of compassion, of love, of consideration, of renunciation, internal renunciation. And then the ego becomes very weak and gradually it falls off. And once it falls off, the ego gets transformed. Ego is never annihilated. Ego gets transformed into the real ego, which is nothing but I am God state. Right. Reading further. At
Hey,
present,
sorry to interrupt. Your voice is kind of scratchy. Maybe shake your mic wire a little bit. It's breaking.
okay, no, okay. Is it clear now, or should I put on the headphone?
It's clear now. I will interrupt
Okay,
you.
okay, okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you for the caution. All right. At present, Baba says, you as soul are unconscious of God and God's bliss. As a soul, definitely we are unconscious. We are unconscious that I am God. That is what Baba is trying to say. Your mind now suffers or is happy according to your impressions. All the happiness and all the suffering are a result of our impressions. Our impressions will produce a certain result. But still, in spite of it producing hardships, troubles, difficulties, roadblocks, if we have cultivated our mind to convert that into a positive attitude, to use that as a springboard in order to move on further towards Godhead or whatever you call it, then that is the correct use of the mind. Here Baba says, your mind now suffers or is happy according to your impressions. Let go the mind. Very powerful sentence. Let go the mind. Of course, you can't let it go. Let go means do not be affected by it. Do not be triggered by it. Do not become a slave to your mind, is what Baba is trying to say. Let go the mind, and you are your real self. Real capital R, capital S. That means mind stopped is God. We have done that, right? Mind is the, what should I say, is the apparatus which gives us the experience of suffering or of bliss, happiness. Bliss is quite far away. But when the mind goes, it's difficult for the mind to go. It can only go with the help of a living perfect master or the avatar who's the eternal living perfect master. But at least we can gradually loosen the grip of the mind over us by not complying with each and every desire that our mind is impelling us to do. So this is where the chapter ends, page number 63, chapter 63 rather. Any questions on this? Anybody has? Am I now audible now? Am I audible now?
It's still a little breaky, so I think maybe try. And
Let me
Chad
try
has
this.
a question.
Okay, let me try this on.
Yes.
All right. Is it any better?
It seems better for now.
It seems better for now. But
Yeah.
I'll just disconnect it for a time being because the question has to be heard by Soumya as well as myself. That is why. Okay, go ahead with the question.
Uh, Jai Baba,
Jai Baba.
Cyrus ji, there was something mentioned about the shadow objects of desire. If you can please clarify.
Okay. See, basically, Baba says that the creation is a shadow of God. Everything is a shadow of God. So when you are pursuing any object to satiate our desires, which object are we pursuing? The shadow object. Because it is in the domain of the shadow and not in the domain of reality. Am I clear?
Yes, I mean that's the apparent thing, but then we don't use the shadow object of
Well,
feelings, shadow object of emotions. So that is
I
why.
know, I know, I know.
So
He
that
could
is.
have, yeah, he has, sorry, he has perhaps, because I can't tell Baba why did you use the word shadow. You could have straight away say object of desire. So he wants to perhaps emphasize that all your objects of desire are only shadowy. It has no astitva or existence. So why do you run after that? Could be, could be.
Okay. Uh, Cyrus ji, when repeatedly Baba says that mind goes and then God comes. Annihilation of mind is where God is and Godhood starts. My question is twofold. What is it that differentiates mind from ego? And once mind goes, what happens to the ego? I mean, God comes, but what, if you can please throw some light on that?
I will throw a lot of light on that. When we
And
say I,
Cyrus,
when,
you're a little softer now. The previous thing was better in my.
is it better now?
Yes, please.
Okay, lovely. All right. So when Baba talks about ego or mind, at several places Baba uses the word in conjunction like ego mind, your ego mind. That means your finite, separative, selfish, self-centered mind. This when mind goes, what happens to the ego is it gets transformed from the false ego to the real ego. Got it? Ego and mind are both like synonyms. And that is why in several literature, Baba uses the word either the ego or either the mind, and sometimes your ego mind. That means mind which is let's say covered by the false separative ego. That way, mind which has a false ego mind. And when mind is totally annihilated, what happens is that the ego, because it is the real thing, it stays, but it transforms itself from the false ego to the real ego. Real ego would mean self, it would mean the state of Aham Brahmasmi, I am God state. Got it? Am I audible? Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are, sir.
Yes,
Got
yes.
it.
Thank you, Semin. Thanks, dear. Okay. Shall we go ahead with the next chapter? Right. Go ahead.
Find me as your own self. You must always remember that only thing worth remembering is to forget everything else and to remember me in order to be able to love me and then find you than your own breath. Remember me.
I think you're muted. It came. Okay, go ahead. They will tell us. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Remember me, and I am with you, and my love will guide you. I am the one who is always lost and found among mankind. It is your love for yourself that loses me, and it is your love for me that finds me. Love me above everything, for now, while I am in your midst, I am most easily found as I really am. If you want to know anything of God and to reach Him, then catch hold of Baba's Daman. If you care for God and care for love, and if you have the desire for union with God, then the only solution is to catch hold of Baba.
Chapter number 64, Mere Baba calling. Find me as your own self. In truth or reality, our real self is nothing but Baba. So how do we find him as our true self or real self? The only way to find him as our true self is to lose our false self. And one of the quickest, safest, surest way of losing ourselves is to immerse ourselves in the thought of God. Because when you are thinking about God, you are not thinking about yourself. Simple as that. So that is the crux of this particular chapter where Baba says, you must always remember that one thing worth remembering is to forget everything else and to remember me in order to be able to love me and then find me as your real self. Now, somebody may ask how practical it is. And at other places, Baba has said, and I had repeated once what Upasni Maharaj said, that while you are discharging your duties and responsibilities, you should be fully focused on what you are doing. After having done that, for the rest of the time, be focused on your God or your master. That is the easiest way. You do your duty, and the rest of the time, one does not indulge in what should I say, in backbiting, in judging somebody else, evaluating something else, and other waste of time. So that is what Upasni Maharaj had said. So here, why I brought that point is that while you are really working, when you are functioning in an office, in a business, at home, be fully focused on that. And once the work is laid aside, then be focused on Baba. Even whilst the work is going on, Baba says elsewhere in the discourses, before starting the work, take a moment to think and feel honestly and sincerely that it is Baba. You invite him as your companion, and you think and feel honestly and sincerely that it is Baba who is doing these things through you. Baba has even gone to the extent of saying that even if you are doing something wrong, invite me and think and feel that it is Baba who is doing things wrong through you. That is what, but we have to be honest about it. And when Baba has done it, then you do not clamor for the results. If the results are fantastic, don't take the praise yourself. If the praise comes, which will definitely come, internally within yourself, pass it on to Baba. In the same way, if the blame comes, if the brickbats come, again then internally pass it on to Baba. Because if you have sincerely and honestly felt that it is Baba doing things through you, then you are not responsible for the results. As simple as that, logical and simple. So here Baba says that the easiest, you must always remember, the one thing worth remembering is to forget everything else and to remember me, in order to be able to love me and find me as your own self. When you find Baba as your own self, it means you realize it. I am nearer to you than your own breath. Can you imagine, Baba? Our breath, we are connected by breath. The moment breath stops, the false ego is shed and you go into a state of heaven or hell and come back again. If you have forgotten to take Baba's name. If Baba's name is taken at that point of death, Baba's promise is there that you get moksha, mukti. And when I say Baba's name, I keep saying this. Any God's name, any master's name, any avatar's name. And when I say master, I mean a perfect master. I am nearer to you than your own breath. Remember me, and I am with you, and my love will guide you. I think it's a very profound statement, and I'm sure every one of us must have experienced the guidance given by Baba to us at the point where we are in a quagmire, not quagmire, in a dilemma as to what should we do. And if we remember him from deep down and say, Baba, I'm in a fix. I want your help. I want your guidance. Please tell me what should I do. In my opinion, never has been a time when Baba has not come to our rescue and have not guided us. Provided, as I say, your call should be from within and should not be just a lip service. Baba, Baba, Baba. That may also help, I don't know. But my it is always said, that the quality of the answer depends upon the quality of the question. In other words, if you are calling out or questioning Baba from within, the answer has to come and it has to come instantaneously. It is not that I am calling out today and he will give me a reply next week. Nothing of the sort. All right. I am the one, sorry. I am the one who is always lost and found among mankind. It is your love for yourself that loses me, and it is your love for me that finds me. That means the more we are self centered, the more we run after the shadow objects of desires and cravings, we tend to lose Baba from our psyche, from our consciousness. And when we lose him, we feel that, oh, how come I have lost Baba? Baba is not with me. He is not guiding me. He is not helping me. But the fact of the matter is that Baba is always there. He can never, ever not be there. I've given you an example many times, in fact, that once, I suppose it was in Mirazad, and very rarely he does that. Baba asked a few of his Mandli people to sit in the Mandli hall. Baba was sitting there and said, just for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, close your eyes and imagine my face, my physical form near your third eye. Just focus on the third eye and bring to that my image. And so it's just a matter of 2 minutes. And then Baba snapped and asked Francis Brabazon. Francis Brabazon was an Australian Baba lover. He was, in fact, a Sufi, you can say, sheikh, but he disrobed himself the moment he got the experience of Meher Baba to be the Sahib-e-Zaman, to be the avatar of the age. He just left his position and joined Baba as his slave. You see. So Francis says, Baba, when Baba asked, what was your experience in those 2 minutes? Francis says, Baba, you come and go. That's what Francis said. And Baba very beautifully said, no, Francis, you are wrong. It is you who come and go. I am always there. So, in other words, Baba is always there. Anytime we feel the absence of Baba in our being, it is because we have covered ourselves up, totally. It is we who have indulged into selfishness, into self centeredness. Instead of remembering Baba more, we are remembering ourselves more. And that is where the experience that we have lost Baba comes. But we can never lose Baba. Actually, we have lost ourselves in the game. So, coming back to what Baba is saying, I am the one who is always lost and found among mankind. It is your love for yourself. That means selfishness, running after our desires, cravings, whatever you call it, lust, greed, envy, whatever. It is your love for yourself that loses me, and it is your love for me that finds me. Love me above everything. There's a saying in English, he who gives God a second place gives him no place. In other words, Baba expects that we give him the place of prominence in our life, in everything that we do. Chota chota thing, very little thing. You got your salary, you offer it to Baba. If there's a Baba's image, you offer it to him or in your own heart. If you are cooking, you offer it to Baba first. You need people do it. They take a tray and put it at Baba's feet, that you can do. But internally also you can offer. If you are starting a new work, if you are starting out of home, you tell Baba, for please come with me, accompany me. You reach home, Baba, thank you very much. In every simple way. I remember a very young, small girl, very, very young. Chalo Baba, apne school mein jaiye. Means, chal come Baba, let's go to school together. So that innocence, that oneness, that constant remembrance, that spontaneous giving him a place, pride of sort of, importance. What? Okay, pride of place. You give him that. So here what Baba says, love me above everything. That is how the discussion went. For now while I am in your midst, I am most easily found as I really am. If people think that Baba is not in our midst now, I think we are fooling ourselves. In fact, the experience of most Baba lovers after Baba having dropped the body is that he is now more accessible, more available, more tangible than when he was in the body. Because when he was in the body, he was most of the time in seclusion, especially the last phase of his life. He would not meet anybody. He would not, no correspondence, no meeting, no savas, no program, etc. You see. So, but now he is free from the body, and therefore he is everywhere and available to everyone anytime. So he is actually more accessible to us now after having dropped his physical form. If you want to know anything of God and to reach him, then catch hold of Baba's Daman. Why? Because Baba is not only the way, but he is also the goal. He is the way and the goal. Just as how Jesus the Christ has announced that I am the way and the goal. Nobody comes to my Father except through me. And me doesn't mean the Jesus, which is the physical form. The me is the Christ consciousness, which he experiences all the time. So nobody goes to the Father unless and until you experience the Christ consciousness, or whatever you call it, Krishna consciousness. After some time, it may come to mere consciousness. We do not know. What Baba is trying to say, if you want to know anything of God and reach him, then catch hold of Baba's Daman. Daman is the edge of a garment which the master wears. And we all know that Baba had a beautiful attire, a very, very beautiful attire of a long satra, flowing satra with long sleeves. And often, when he would say this statement, catch hold of my daman, he would himself lift the hem of his garment, satra, and show it that you hold it with both hands, not just with one hand. Because if one hand slips, at least the other hand will help you to hold on. In my interpretation, it could mean that one should be fully focused on Baba and not have one leg in one boat, which is Maya, and the other leg in Baba's boat. Then you will be torn apart. So this is my interpretation of holding Baba's Daman with both hands. Baba's holding of Baba's Daman would mean what? Many things, depending on him, relying on him, most importantly, obeying his wish, obeying his instructions, remembering him, following him in every which way, whatever, making him our constant companion. All these could contribute to what Baba talks about holding on to his Dharma. If you care for God and care for love, and if you have the desire for union with God, see, the most important thing I feel, I may be wrong, is that one should create within oneself a desire, a craving, a longing to see God and become one with God. Because unless and until it is something like this, that unless and until your thirst for a drink is not really up, not really at its height, the master will not come with a cup of wine. When I say wine, it is intoxication for the love of God. So do not ask for water. Create the thirst first. Water will automatically come to you. In other words, we are all talking about all these things, about bhashan, so many programs, so many things, But the key point, I would say, is, are we creating within us a desire to see Baba and to love Baba to a point where we become one with him? If it is there, then surely Baba's love will flow. Otherwise, at a periphery level, Baba loves everybody. Baba is helpful to everybody. He answers our prayers. He even gives us, material benefits. Spiritual, though I don't know, because I don't know how spiritual we all are in terms of spiritual path I am talking about. So basically, here the key point is, Baba says, if you care for God and care for love, and if you have the desire for union with God, one should have the desire for union, which is, in my understanding and opinion, a very high state of spirituality where you are unaffected by anything and everything in life, where you are fully and wholly focused on your longing to become one with God. Then nothing distracts you, nothing attracts you, nothing affects you. You are always in that state of longing for union with God. Baba says, then the only solution is to catch hold of Baba. And when we say catch hold of Baba, not superfluously, not periphery level, deep down, nothing but Baba. Nobody but Baba. I have seen today because we used to travel a lot previously, and we have seen that we go. They are following this also. They are following that also. They are following somebody else. I am not saying it is wrong. All that I am saying is Baba has said emphatically that after having come in my love orbit, if you take me to be what I claim, that is the avatar of God, the highest spiritual authority, I am saying this of all times because he is the latest avatar. And that is why he's of all time, you know. And if we are convinced about that, then there is no need for us to go here, there, everywhere. I am not I am not trying to be disrespectful to other masters. I can never be, but I'm just parroting what Baba has said. I remember an instance, okay, this is over. One of the followers, foreigners, I've said this and many things that I've said are repetitive. She was a Christian and she loved Baba, but she said, but Baba, you say that you are the Christ and I am following the Christ. So what is the issue? What is the problem if I keep following Christ? And Baba's splendid reply was, Christ was, I am. If we understand the meaning behind this, beautiful. That's all. Then at one time, again, some Indian followers were there. They had Baba's darshan, and Baba casually asked, so now what is your plan? Where are you going? What are you going to do? And Baba said, and those people said, that now we will go to Shirdi and then Sakori and then go home. These are very important spiritual places, mind you. No doubt about it. They are perfect masters. And Sai Baba was Kutube Irshad, the head of the five perfect masters. What was Baba's reply? He never said, don't go, why are you going? Why? No, he never said. He simply said, Sai Baba and Upasri Maharaj are now in me. That's all. जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं समझने वाले को इशारा काफी है. So in that, if you have taken the hint that Baba does not want us to go there, but still there are people who are going, and I am not saying again right, wrong, good, bad. This is not a platform to judge anybody. I am simply saying what Baba has said. It is up to each one of us to hold on to it or to just be whatever we feel like doing. So here we end chapter number 64, and any questions you're free to ask. Anybody has any questions?
Meher Daruwala.
Yes, please.
Cyrus uncle,
Bolo.
you said that Baba, he didn't want to meet anybody before he came to know in his mind that he's going to pass off. So what happened exactly? How would you say that part?
Okay. See, what has happened was,
Yeah.
There are three, I put it this way. One is Sahavas, one is Upvas, and one is Vanvas. Ekantwas. Okay. Sorry. Thank you. Ekantwas. Which is, okay, Ekantwas. Upvas, he would go through rigorous Upvas, which is fasting. Unbelievable, closing himself up in a small room and living there for a month or so with just half a cup of tea or coffee. I don't know how anybody can manage. He did not do all these things for his own so-called spiritual upliftment or because he was already the top notch. He is the avatar. But he had to do it and he did it for our sake. What work he did, at least I don't know. And I don't think anybody knows, not even the closest mandali.
Okay.
Right. This is for Upvas. Then we talk about Sahavas. Sahavas means the programs that he used to give, the darshan programs.
Yeah.
Right. In those darshan programs, Baba distinguishes between darshan and sahwas. But I am going to, sahwas means intimate companionship with the master.
Okay.
In sahwas, there were no lectures or discourses most of the time. It was just a give and take of love in a most natural, spontaneous manner between the Baba lovers and Baba. They would talk, they would joke, they would tell stories and all that. And once in a way, if somebody asked a question, Baba would give a discourse. That is Sahwas. And then Ekantwas. Ekantwas is what we are now talking about. Ekantwas means seclusion. Now, seclusion, people should not think that he is running away from work. From work. Seclusion means you are secluding yourself from the activities. But actually, Baba's seclusion was more hectic because it was more work for him. Now, if you ask me what work he did, nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Correct.
The seclusion was so intense that when Baba would go into seclusion, he would not like to be disturbed by the slightest noise, to a point where in Merazad there are many trees, we all know that, and there are many birds chirping around. So the mandlis would be surrounding Baba's room to shoo away the birds so that they do not chirp and disturb Baba. You can imagine what is the gravity of that seclusion. We do not know. The only hint that Baba has given during the last 3 years of his seclusion, that is maybe 66, 67, 68. Sorry, 3 years of his life, 1966, 67, 68. Because in 69 January, he dropped this physical body. During these 3 years, the hint that Baba has given is that when he goes into that seclusion work, you know, the difficulty for him was not the work in itself, but to keep his consciousness in the gross. What it means, I don't know. That means, yeah. And in order to do that, he would bang his thighs and he would bang his chest so that that particular gross physical pain and distraction will keep his consciousness anchored to the gross. I have read in Lord Meher where he would even tell the night watch or anybody, Mandli, to really beat his chest, thum, 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 thum. You see, so that the consciousness is retained in the gross. What it means, I do not know. What work he did, I do not know. And I'm sure nobody else does. And I remember when Noshirwan Anzar, who had come to our center, and he described that Baba had gone so weak, so frail, so you can make out that the toll of or the pressure of work must be so much, that he actually had become very weak and very pale. And Baba asked Noshirwan to touch his thighs, Baba's thighs, which he was banging all the time. And Noshirwan said that it felt as if I was touching a wall. Means it had lost all its, whatever you call it, flexibility and suppleness and all that. It was like a rock, like a stone, like a wall. I don't remember what word he used, but that shows the intensity of the work which nobody knows what Baba does when he is in seclusion. The guess is that Baba had once indicated. There was a story about Krishna also, that Krishna prays, and how Narad went, and we don't want to get into that story because we are coming to the end of time. So the guesswork is that today all those millions of Baba followers who are following Baba because of their gut feeling that Baba is the avatar of the age, because of their experiencing Baba in their life through some incidents, accidents, whatever it is because of Baba's inner spiritual work which he did in seclusion. Otherwise, why would thousands upon thousands of people from various countries? See, when Zoroaster was there, it was confined only to Persia. When Ramakrishna, maybe to India and some parts of sorry, Rama and Krishna. Okay. So in other words, it was when Jesus was there, it was very it was not spread over so many countries. Even when Muhammad Paigambar Sahib was there, it was in a certain location, Arabia, Makkah, Medina, Arabia. That's it. Today, in Meher Baba's life, hardly 52 years have passed. It will pass on 31st of January this month. And today, people, thousands of people from various countries, far-flung countries, have got the name of Baba and they are loving Baba and following Baba. My understanding is this is one can say that this is the result of internet connectivity, IT, whatever. Yes, but how is it that all these things of coming together as one composite world village has come about only during the Autaric period? That is why avatars, it is the result of avatars' work through the science, through all this technology, to bring together the world as one village, as one family. You know, and that could be, I'm guessing, that could be the result of his intense seclusion work that he did. So this is if this is the answer. I'm glad you asked because that gave me a scope to explain about the last 3 years. Now, those who are on the center's email ID where I send out every day the mails, you will get to have a very fair idea, a very beautiful idea of months preceding Baba's dropping of the body till Baba's dropping of the body and his internment, covering up with the coffin. All that I have broken up from the splendid book called The Last Sahwas, written by Dr. Hoshang P. Bharucha. I have been doing this over the years. I think last 1 or 2 years I stopped it because it must have come several times. But this time again it is there. So if you are on email, you will get it from the 20th of this month till the 31st of this month. You will get in parts how the health deteriorated, who all came, what the doctor said, what all happened, will come part by part by part by part. And I have taken the photographs of those who were around him at that point in time. Sorry? Till internment. I'm sorry. Soumya corrects me, and I am obliged to her. I said till internment. Actually, it stops. I'm covering up the internment period by 31st of January. So internment is there, but actually, actual internment took place on 7th of February 1969, which happened to be his birthday according to the Zoroastrian calendar in 1969. And on 31st of January, when the Mandali were asking Baba, how much you are suffering? Why are you bearing so much on your self? And Padri even said, Baba, now it is time to close the shop. Baba said, what are you talking? Close the shop? And then Baba said, the shop will now open. And this is there. The shop will now open. And when people asked about his suffering, he said, only for 7 days more. And that is exactly what happened. And earlier on, he had said, up to my next birthday, I will have to suffer. And it coincided. 7 days from 31st January is the 7th of February. And 7th of February happened to be Baba's birthday, according to. So both his statements proved true. So I think that's all I can explain about Baba. But those who are not on the internet, if you are interested, visit the Bombay Center site. Very simple to remember. avatarmeherbaba.in. That means Avatar Meher Baba, you are taking in avatarmeherbaba.in. You will go to our Bombay Center site. There is a column called subscribe. You just click on that and you put your email ID over there. Immediately on your email ID, given email ID, you will get a mail from Feed Burner. Don't get frightened. You are not going to be burned. Feed Burner. You will say, "Oh my God, what is happening?" They will ask you to confirm that you are the one who wants the mail, and from that day onwards, you will start getting mail every day in the morning around 6:20, 6:30 India time. If there is some foreigner here, they will get it equivalent to their time, right? So if you are interested, yes, and there is the archives of several years of whatever posting that I have been doing on behalf of the Bombay Center, of course. And as far as possible, I have tried to select the date. For example, let's say, for example, today is 16th of January. So what happened in Baba's life on the 16th of January, no matter what year it is culled out and given on the 16th of January, like that. Sometimes I don't repeat, and therefore I only search January, month of January in Baba's life, and all the episodes of January, 30 days, I try to put it on the site. So every day you can get it. That's all I can say. Yes, yes, Rakesh. Go ahead.
Cyrus, is there some direct link so we can just press the link and we can subscribe, or we
No,
have to go to the
you have
website?
to go to the website. You
Okay.
have to go to the website. There is
Okay.
no direct link. Huh? So
Okay.
Cyrus, can you repeat what one needs to press on the website once one goes there?
first of all, you have to install Baba within your heart. avatarmeherbaba.in. Correct. Then there's a column there called daily mails, library books, etc. There is a column called subscribe.
Okay.
So
Got
get into that, put your email ID, and you will get a mail from FeedBurner. Confirm that. Then from next day onwards, you will start getting the mail every single day around 6:30, 20:30 in the morning. Okay. So thank you once again.
So
Thank you.
one need not download that fire feed or something that you said.
No, 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 no. You will be given 4 to 5 lines of the whole mail. Normally it is 1 page, 1.5 page, 2 pages, like that. And then if you want to read more, you press read more, and then that they will direct you once again to the site. And then you can read the whole page, and that's it. Right? All right. Any more questions?
What is the spelling of avatar?
A-V-
AVA.
A-V-A-T-A-R. A-V-A-T-A-R. Avatar.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for asking, because many people, Meher, she knows because her name is also Meher. Avatar, A-V-A-T-A-R, M-E-H-E-R, B-O-M-B-A-Y, not Mumbai. C-E-N-T-R-E, not C-E-N-T-R. Avatar Meher Baba. Sorry, Avatar Meher Baba is enough. Then there's another one, Avatar Meher Baba, BombayCenter.com. That will also take you there. But this is more simple, avatarmeherbaba.in. Okay? Thank you, Baba. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Rakesh, you are sitting in a very big hall. I like your backgrounds all the time. All right.
Thank you.
And Pia, by the way, we have started A2.
And Muni, Alobaji, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Alobaji is always. Alobaji, thank you very much. You are doing a better job than your father.
He'd want to sleep.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Please thank him on our behalf.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Baba.
Thank you.
Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Thank you.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Baba, thank you.
Yeah, Baba.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Sibir.
Thank